Guess what day it is? Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day, hump day, hump day.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Lifting the Veil with me and my awesome brother in Christ and best friend Franz. Welcome back, Franz. Yeah, good to see you. Good to have you back. Oh, yes. Thank you for bringing it up. It's, let's see if I can stand up a little. It's God the Father shirt, right? Thought I'd do a little play on the movie, make a nice original design. So, yeah, I don't know what it was. It came up in an ad or some, like, oh, Franz is muted. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I just unmuted him. He had asked me about my new shirt, so I was just rambling on. But he's unmuted now.
Check. Can you hear me?
It's hard to, remember to mute us for the intro, because if you don't, it gets all these, different echoes. So I have to, mute us for the intro, and I gotta remember to unmute us for the when we start talking. Sometimes I forget. But yeah. So I had seen an ad for The Godfather. I think it was in a compilation or something. And I was like, oh dude, I could make a sweet shirt out of that. So yeah, I made God the Father shirt. I love it, dude. It came out pretty good.
It's awesome. I have appreciation for it.
I get one.
So, well, it's good to see everybody. Been a long week. Another long, wonderful week. Yeah. I keep forgetting I'm here every week now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just doing different shows.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get to see you more, man. It's good.
Yeah. Kind of had the idea to maybe do more of the news than the lifting of the veil. That way it'd give me more time to actually focus on one subject. But
you mean a 3-in-1 or something?
Yeah, do a couple of the news shows in a week, and every third Wednesday or something, maybe do lifting the veil. But it seems to be doing all right. But sometimes I wish I had
more time.
Another day, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is your day, man. So whatever you want to do. I mean, people love the news show, and people love this show. So whatever you.
I think they're helping each other. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that later on down the road. But I'm going to start presenting so I can throw up what I do have in my slideshow. So speaking of the other show and comments and other people interacting, I started talking about an interaction, a conversation I had on a personal level with an individual in person. And then Jay, after I was freezing up last week, Jason kept the show going for a little bit, showing chemtrails.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. Yeah, somebody had asked about it in the chat. And so,
right, so I saw that comment, and the comment was what proof? They weren't particularly, asking us where's our proof, just because they were mentioned that they had a conversation as I was talking about, and they were just wondering what kind of ammo can they put in their arsenal is more like the question.
Right.
So I probably about a year ago, I touched the subject in a show, But so I'm going to go on about this subject to give those people, it's kind of like a recap for all of us who, are in depth with it a little more, and other people who, have a little arsenal, put a little bit in your toolbox to start with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, repetition is key, man.
Absolutely. And, from the last time I looked into it or was digging up information, I've noticed a few new changes. So, I guess it is good to update, go back and recap. Like I said, repetition, for the newcomers and the people who, for all of us that need a little refreshing. And excuse me. Yeah, it's just basically ideas to go from and where you go to if you happen to find yourself in another conversation with anybody and they're, excuse me, doubting or believing the cartoonish narrative. So with all that said, we're going to start off with a few things they talk about. And it's called cloud seeding. Is definitely what they put into the mainstream. You'll hear a lot as a diversion. What is cloud seeding? Desert Research Institute is the one who does cloud seeding from the ground. You can look them up directly and look into their cloud seeding program. And they say that they help, rain accumulate in the desert areas where there's not a lot of rain, or they'll keep rain away when it doesn't need to be, so forth. They can use it to help you and help the environment. But it's a whole lot of poison, really. And when you try to look into what they're spraying, they start coming up with cloud seeding and safe for humans. It's just nothing really, just water droplets. So we'll go through the cloud seeding a little bit here. Does cloud seeding have an impact on health and the environment? So far, experts haven't found any harmful effects of cloud seeding with silver iodide on the environment. So they say there's none. We really haven't found any yet.
Hold on. It says, have any, that says impact on health and the environment. So there's two things there, and their answer is, so far experts haven't found any harmful effects of cloud seeding with silver iodide on the environment. What happened to the health?
Not the impact on health.
We don't test that because we don't want you to know.
Because if the environment around you is not impacted, then you're not, because you're as healthy as your environment.
Yeah.
And that's basically the truth.
Yeah.
The concentration of silver in a storm from cloud seeding is far below the accepted limit of 50 micrograms per liter of oxygen. So it's accepted limit 50 micro. There shouldn't be any.
Right.
Any silver. No iodide.
Yeah,
but we accept 50 micrograms. So they're not doing it, but it's not bad, and there's no traceable amounts of being harmful. Just enough of acceptables. So one concern is that the chemicals used for cloud seeding, such as silver iodide, can contaminate the air and water. This can lead to health problems for humans, such as respiratory issues, skin irritation, and gastrointestinal problems. This was an individual on LinkedIn. I don't really use LinkedIn. It's kind of like a job search, social media type platform. But this doctor had an article he released on it about this, and that was his. And you kind of have to dig in like PubMed and archives from actual writings from doctors and their propositions to legislation for cloud seeding. But this was just one that I found, and he released this on April 25th, 2023. I'll show you a few pictures of what we see. You know, and during my personal conversation, I asked the individual, like, what do you think I don't know if you can see my mouse.
Yeah.
It's probably
We
small.
can see it.
But not the actual distinctive lines, but the hazy cloud looking. Looks how it's stretched out and
when
spread
they
all
break
over.
out, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, this is fresh right here in the middle. And then to the right, it's starting to break up, right? And then what you see closer to you is the trail all smushed out, spread out quite a bit.
Right, and on the blue side, that's all the haze. That's what happens when it dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
Makes that haze. And that was another thing. This is like probably the most. This is probably the best way to convince people that there are chemtrails is that they start and end. Right? The plane doesn't stop flying, but the trail ends, which means that the plane doesn't actually leave a trail, right? Otherwise, there would be no beginning and end of the strip, right? You see the strip, and then it'll stop, and the jet will keep flying, but there's no trail behind it. So, you know what I mean? Good way to wake people up to be able to see these things and to understand that that's not normal.
I've watched them turn off and then turn back on.
Yeah. You seen the flight patterns they have that go back and forth?
They do go back and forth.
Yeah.
You can see them sometimes, the same exact planes flying back to a starting point to do it again.
Yeah, if you look if you look up flight paths over the U.S. over major cities, you'll see they go, they just do this like zigzaggy back and forth, back and forth.
If you're in an area that you don't need huge views, it's hard to explain, but like in Jason's area, it's a little more open up on the long vision and the huge scope than it is in my area, only 45 minutes away. But where I'll see one flying directly over my head, in Jason's area, it's more open. You can actually see 3 of them in a row. They're literally like a mile apart.
Yeah.
And they're all going in the same direction. They will lay out like a checkerboard grid pattern.
Yeah, it's crazy.
and yeah, like you said, there's a starting point and there's a stopping point, and then they fly back, and just by, so we have a little bit of roof. It's probably hard for you to see on the computer or on your show here, but you got trees in this corner and what looks like a roof in this corner, and you're thinking, all right, so I'm standing to a roof. The roof's probably about 12, 15 feet. So this has got to be about a mile. But our perception of what a mile is off, because we're looking up and we're thinking all this white cloud is a mile and further. But if you can get an 80-foot ladder and climb to the top, you'd be in this haze. It is not as high as you think it is. It is a very deceiving misconception of actual distance.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I bounced around there for a second. Mind me bouncing back and forth. I thought I jumped in my presentation here. So here is an article estimated possible effects of AGL cloud seeding on human health. The publication was printed on December 1st, 1972. I used this one particularly so you could see that this is nothing new. They're having two doctors write a report. They're writing their own personal report about the human health effects from cloud seeding in 1972.
Wow. Yeah, so there you go.
So they have to be seeding the clouds for so long for it to be measurable in humans and the atmosphere and the environment, right? So how long have they been doing it? If these doctors are finally releasing this in 1972, right? So yeah, this article, I'll just give you a little estimates based on information in medical and meteorological literature indicate that AGL in the air and in precipitation does not pose danger to people in the target area, although the concerns of AGL near the generator is much larger. So they go on to talk about how the effects don't really bother you. And this is a 72, so they've been spraying for a little while, but not long. Most of these areas that they're testing are areas that have ground-based cloud seedings. Like some mountains, they'll do it in some mountains. Here's a form of cloud seeding.
So before you go further, I want to just ask you about something.
Yeah.
So this says, not to correct you, but this says AGI.
I was saying AGL, wasn't I?
Yeah, what is AGI? Do you know what that is? Because all I can think of is artificial general intelligence, what they're talking about.
Oh my God, I didn't even think yeah, you're
Right?
absolutely right. Yeah.
Here they are in 1972 talking about the effects
AGI.
of AGI cloud seeding on humans, right? Trying to mix this biotech in with the humans. So, yeah? Trying to make us part of the machine, bro.
So they go back and forth abbreviating what they call it. And I've had to go back and relook out, I'll look at cloud seeding and read an article, and then like this, the AGI. I'm assuming that it's abbreviating for their scientific name for how they're doing it, or what iodine or whatever they're putting into it. We can, I'll write AGI. We'll look that up together.
Yeah.
So I don't just sound like a knucklehead.
No, you don't. I was just wondering what it stands for, because
as
it
I was
gets
reading
thrown
it,
around today in another
normally
way.
I try to think of stuff like that where I'll write it down and remember it. But that's one of those little things that I mentioned I wish I had just slightly more time for. But we'll go back to that, because it does come up to it came up to myself when I was finishing it and the rest of this, but I don't want to jump that far ahead till we get there. All right. So this is an actual cloud seeding. Like I said, look how close to the ground they actually are.
Yeah.
And this is just a narrative, cartoonish version of what they're really doing. Like that article I just read about the doctors saying what harmful effects it has in the areas of ground spraying, where they spray from the ground. They have generators. And this is the same thing, but on the wing of a plane. I'm thinking of how vague they are when you do try to get great details. You could think about like ski resort mountains that in the wintertime, they'll pump water from ponds, that man-made ponds on the mountain, and spray into the air, like mist into the air. So they're basically cloud seeding on a tiny scale to make snow on their mountain. You know what I mean?
That's like natural, though.
It is natural. It's more of a natural. It's not so much
Because
chemically. They're just trying to spray.
that's how it works usually. So
Right. And so it's basically taking that idea, but instead of putting water droplets into the front air, they're putting chemicals to make water droplets.
right.
Okay. So this is, an idea of what they're doing.
So let me throw this out there. So
Yep.
that's their narrative. Okay. Do you think that it actually does that, or they just say that because there's no way we can prove it wrong?
Yes.
The second one?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yes to all of it.
Yeah. That's what I think. Because I was like, it's not doing any of that stuff. They're just making this stuff up because we can't prove that they're wrong.
No, and the only way that it's gotten this far is doctors and scientists that do measure water and ground and air, and have been since the 70s and 80s, and we're catching on to these ingredients per se are becoming more and more measurable in the earth, the dirt, the air, and water.
Yeah, I remember last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. After it rained, there was this people were doing videos. They had this film on their windshield from the water droplets,
Yep.
and they were scraping it off with a razor blade, and then holding the magnet under their windows, and it was moving around.
Yeah.
Crazy. I actually went out and tried it too, and it was.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane when you start playing with it in that sense, because then, I mean, you can no longer say, oh, it's weather modification. It's exactly what it is, and then some.
Don't let your kids eat snow. that was my number one rule. Don't eat the snow.
Yep.
Used to be when we were kids, it was don't eat the yellow snow. Now it's don't eat any snow.
Do you remember it was like when we were kids, you'd joke about acid rain?
Oh, yeah.
So that's basically what is going on.
Yeah.
It's a silver iodide, all these other chemicals, and they're creating an acid rain. So here's a little diagram. This is an airplane equipped with the same type of sprayer I just showed you in the previous picture, and it shows you this cute little cycle, which would be around and around like the snake, but eating its own tail.
Yeah.
And so it says up here where the plane is dropping the dry ice, quote unquote, is the introduction of chemical, and there's gaseous H2O in there, and then they'll mix it up together and it'll create rain, make it liquid H2O. So Wiki's definition of cloud seeding is undertaken by dispersing substances into the air that serve as cloud condensation or ice nuclei. Common agents include silver iodide, potassium iodide, or dry ice. With hydrospheric materials like table salt gain in popularity due to their ability to attract moisture. Techniques vary from static seeding. Which encourages ice particle formation in supercooled clouds to increase precipitation, to dynamic seeding, designed to enhance convective cloud development through the release of latent heat. So basically what they're saying is they're making it so that the water droplets or the H2O as a gas form will create water that's not frozen and then will heat up in enough to rain. So in this wordy way of explaining what they're doing, it contradicts the commercial conditioning narrative of condensation trails, right? Because it's a hot engine in cold air.
Yeah.
And it's leaving that. Well, if it's in such cold air, then why are you trying to make it freeze?
And whoever heard of using salt to make moisture? Why don't you ask a slug if salt helps him moisturize?
Well, it attracts moisture. Like if you put it on the slug, it's going to attract it right out of the.
Yeah, it's gonna kill it all. Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah, so you caught the other.
Yeah. It's like if you pay attention to the things that they say, it's like they're telling you the truth. You just have to look at it in their words.
You have to look at it. That's right. They'll reword it and reword it. And it gets more and more complicated where you're like, wait, I don't get it. But if you just listen or, they're saying the same thing, just in a different way. And they all contradict the glorified, silly explanations.
Yeah, it's because they have to make stuff up because they can't tell you the truth. So they're like, let's give them some science jargon, and hey, give me that paper from '78. Let's put some of that jargon in here. They won't know what it means. Just throw it out there. We'll put it on Wikipedia.
Well, you were thinking about this 20 years ago. You could have asked that doctor that I was just talking about, but he has passed since then. So
all the information died with him.
Yeah. Exactly. We don't have that technology anymore.
We didn't have Wikipedia back then, so you can't blame us.
But it's just table salt.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Nobody has found any health problems yet. So back during Vietnam, there was a secret operation. Operation Popeye. Operation Popeye, Project Controlled Weather, Popeye, Mortar Pool, intermediately Comb Patriot, was a military cloud seeding project carried out by the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War in 1967 to 1972. The highly classified program attempted to extend the monsoon season over specific areas of the Ho Chi Minh Trail in order to disrupt North Vietnamese military supplies by softening road surfaces and causing landslides. Do you understand what they're saying?
Yeah, they
they
create torrential downpours to make.
That's right. So there's not monsoon season, right? That's why you see those rice farmers' houses on stilts, because the monsoon season comes and they live in a river. So while at war, our government, our Air Force, cloud seeded to extend the monsoon season. So it would flood. They couldn't bring in supplies, re-ammunition, and they're softening it by talking about military supplies, by softening the road surfaces. So they made a mud season, a monsoon season, and they extended it an extra 6 months, 6 to 9 months, almost a year. And if I'm so crazy and this is so ridiculous, I think we've all seen that Tom Hanks movie, Forrest Gump.
Good,
right?
Yeah.
Where he made friends with a gentleman named Bubba Gump. There was a whole 5-minute scene talking about all the kinds of rain. There was upside down rain, big fat rain, stinging rain. Him and Bubba would sleep with her, right? There's the whole scene in Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Specifically states that monsoon season kept going. A rain would come up from underneath. So here we are in 67 to 72. They have already done it enough and experimented with it enough where they're taking off of Air Force carriers, airplane carriers, and flying over Vietnam and spraying them. The chemical weather modification program was conducted from Thailand to Cambodia. Laos, Vietnam, and allegedly sponsored by Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and the CIA without authorization of Secretary of Defense Melvin Laird, who had categorically denied to Congress that a program for modification of weather for use as a tactical weapon ever even existed. I think they denied, they still do, but excuse me.
That's why they do that, for plausible deniability.
Right, it wasn't me, it was Kissinger. Because nothing like that exists.
Yeah, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Ask my boss. Yeah.
I can neither deny nor confirm.
Yeah.
It was actually called the 54th Weather Reconnaissance Squadron. They carried out the operation using the slogan, "Make mud, not war."
Interesting.
And that's literally where the hippies turned "Make love, not war." Because they didn't understand. What is mud? What do you mean make mud, not war? Starting on March 20th, 1967, and continuing through every rainy season in Southeast Asia until 1972. So there, I just proved what I said a minute ago wrong about an extra 6 to 9 months. They made every rain season last almost a year. Almost all that time.
Well, if you ever watch like Platoon, or like,
all of them have it in it.
It just rains like the whole time.
So Operation
They're like
Cloud
sleeping
Seeding.
in lakes and stuff. You know?
As soon as you said Platoon, you can't even look at the cover without the guy,
Yeah.
looking up at the rain. See, they have C-130. They call them Hercules, and 2 F-4C Phantom. 2 different aircrafts.
Hercules and Phantom, huh?
So here we are. It's a little Phantom right there. And if I'm so crazy, and this is just a regular personnel plane, why does it specifically say weather
On the tail. I was looking
Weather.
at that. Yeah. Weather.
We're just watching weather.
We're just giving you the local weather today.
A weather report from
Brought
the
to you
U.S. Air
by
Force.
your Air Force.
Actually.
Yeah. We got Robin Williams up here. Good morning, Vietnam. Weather's gonna be rainy.
Good morning, rainy day.
Yeah.
So the first 1946, conducted the first true cloud seeding experiment by aircraft. Schaefer dropped 6 pounds of crushed dry ice into a cloud in the Adirondack Mountains of New York. Almost immediately, snow began to fall.
Dude. Okay. So, let me see if I understand this. So, they threw crushed ice out of a plane and called it snow? Oh, dude, you can't make this stuff up, man. Of course it snowed. You just threw crushed ice out of a plane. Oh,
So,
my goodness,
Dr.
man.
Schaefer standing in the back of this thing with the cargo door open, throwing crushed ice out.
Unbelievable, man. These people don't even try, bro. But really, they don't even have to. You know?
No, they don't. But I mean, it's proof that this isn't some new conspiracy theory that we just came up with in the last year or two, because this chucklehead's been throwing it out of an actual plane by hand since 1946.
Hey, Brooklyn! Yeah, snow falls in Brooklyn! Yeah. Oh, man, I miss Queens. Turn around.
But I mean, if you look into the Air Force Base in Upper New York in the Adirondacks, they were definitely experimenting in the 40s with this.
Yeah.
As far as throwing handfuls of crushed dry ice, that's the comical relief of it. But the point of me saying that was the 1946, the 40s, and if they admit they're doing it in 46, they add another 20 to 40 years.
Yeah.
Because here they are. This is that guy right there. That's about 6 pounds of crushed dry ice right there. These are some of the oldest images of actual planes throwing crushed dry ice.
Wow. Yeah, they've been doing this for a long time, man.
Long, long time. This is that Dr. Schaffer.
He looks like a mad scientist, bro.
He does, doesn't he?
He
kind of looks like.
Look at the reaction.
So he's got an enclosed, a controlled environment atmosphere. And so he's actually dropping in some from the top and the bottom where it looks like smoke. But so he was trying to actually do this in a controlled little petri dish, his own little environment. And who knows what he had for living creatures in this thing. But supposedly that is the guy who was throwing 6 pounds out the airplane in 46.
Right, because they know we live in a terrarium.
We are in an enclosed habitat.
So that's the perfect experiment,
It absolutely is. They can see how they can contain cloud that's already there naturally and what they can do to it to make it do whatever they want.
Yeah. So now I'm going to throw something out at you.
Yes, sir.
So in that video that I show, it's a fallen angel.
Right.
So now I'm proposing this or asking this question. Do you think they just make all this stuff up so they can cover up what's really happening? That the fallen angels are doing this stuff?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I could totally see that.
I totally see it too, and it would be very plausible because, the basic mind of the average human is not going to think of anything but man-made.
Right.
As much as people love eating up the ghost show garbage, you wouldn't think that's a spiritual entity.
Right.
It makes more sense that it's an airplane and some knucklehead like this guy throwing handfuls of fresh dry ice.
Yeah.
Like spiritual entity. What is that?
Yeah.
That's so fake. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
The truth is stranger than fiction, but yet they love throwing cartoonish stuff in your face. And I mean, yeah, sure, this guy isn't a cartoon. That's an actual scientist, but it's cartoon to the narrative, for the narrative.
Right, like that's totally staged photo. They're like, all right, we're gonna do this because we're gonna put out this document and say this. So.
And as far as them coming up with it on their own, probably not. It's part of the forbidden knowledge. They're told these things. Like what was his name? That actor I talked about, Terrence Howard.
Oh yeah.
So as an actor, he's channeling, right? So he can channel an entity to create that character or be in that character. When he's on the Joe Rogan talking about all these patents and these smart things he's done and being a physicist, he's channeling. He's giving you the same performance as he would in a movie. He's channeling this forbidden knowledge, and it's coming out in a way that it's given to him. It's presented to him by these fallen angels.
Yeah.
All right. Geoengineering. What are they spraying? This strategy involves spraying fine particles such as titanium, sulfur, or diamond dust into our atmosphere to reflect back a certain percentage of the sun's rays. This strategy includes injecting metallic nanoparticles, aluminum or aluminum oxide, into the upper atmosphere to scatter incoming sunlight back to space.
Back to space. Man.
Yeah, exactly. So they're calling it the same thing, geoengineering, but it's shifting into something more modern than creating rain and monsoon seasons, right? What does aluminum oxide do to the atmosphere? Aluminum oxide has various effects on ozone in the atmosphere. Research shows that aluminum oxide particles emitted by solid rocket motors can contribute to stratospheric ozone depletion, along with hydrogen chloride emitted by the same rockets. So they're saying there's aluminum oxide in the atmosphere, and it's depleting the ozone, but it's not from us spraying, it's from rockets. All that rocket fuel and what it creates in the atmosphere when it's, being combusted to propel the rocket is how they're trying to make it sound.
This is crazy.
Thank you, Beans and Toast. Good to see you. Barium and aluminum oxide. You're absolutely right. I was meaning to. I just realized as soon as you said that I was meaning to put in the
periodic
table.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that when I go to look up the AGI. So
yeah, for Bale, yeah.
Hydrogen chloride, HCI. See, there's another. See, I tell you, they throw these abbreviations at you when you get into this, and you forget.
Yeah.
Hydrogen chloride is an acidic gas that is emitted into the air from a variety of natural and human activities. So they'll tell you hydrogen chloride and the barium and aluminum, they can come from volcanoes. Naturally, the Earth cools itself when a volcano erupts so big that it creates a winter. Ash winter or whatever they call them.
Yeah. When Mount St. Helens erupted, it put out more CO2 into the air than humans have in their existence.
Right. So it is absolutely fact that volcanoes will do that, but they're pointing the finger. The just imagine the pilot in the plane is pointing at the volcano. And no, not us, them. They'll even say that burning waste and creating like plywood does it.
It's your gas stoves.
And wood fire and the forest fires.
You got to take away your gas stoves, man. You guys are polluting
cow
the
farts.
earth. Yeah, we gotta kill the cows and take your gas stoves and get you an electric car. Everything will be fine.
It'll be fine. But we do a little geoengineering to stop the volcanoes, so we don't kill it.
We got big corks. We're gonna put in the top. Yeah.
What do you observe when HCI is exposed to the atmosphere? Strong affinity of HCI gas for moisture in air results in forming of droplets of liquid solution, which appears like cloudy smoke. Due to strong affinity for water, concentrated HCI pulls moisture of air towards itself. The moisture forms droplets of water and hence the cloud. So in one sentence, they're saying no, but the next they're saying that's exactly what we're doing, but it's just to, make droplets, moisture droplets of water and the cloud. So we don't really do that. hydrogen chloride released into the atmosphere as a gas will undergo wet and dry depositions and will be readily incorporated into cloud, rain, and fog water. It thus forms a component of acid rain. It also contributes to the processes that cause a photochemical smog.
I love how it says, it will be wet and dry. Yeah, because that happens.
Dry deposition.
Yeah. Ugh, I hate it when I'm wet dry. It's like, yeah, come on now.
It's acid rain from a dry cloud. I know it's confusing.
This is dry rain. Don't you feel it? It's not the wet kind. Right? Oh my goodness, man.
Well, it's a photochemical smog from your vehicles.
Yeah.
Not this.
That means you can take a picture of it? I don't know.
Yeah, this is your photochemical smog.
Yeah, that's some heavy metals right there, bro.
Yep.
Look at those. That's just fallen heavy metals. That's like a chemtrail that's like falling to the earth.
And that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
See how they're go through a few pictures here. And these are all stock. You can find these. I didn't use any of my own personal ones. I just figured that way, show you if you just look, you can have some. You can find your own. I mean, there's no shortage of it. Plenty of people out there posting their own.
Yeah, I took a panorama of. I was actually going out towards your way at La Valleys, and I took a panorama. There must have been probably 15 in the sky all at once. They were everywhere. Oh, I couldn't even believe it. I never seen so many. I know in the cities you see it like that all the time, but never seen it like that up here. That was pretty intense. I'll have to dig those pictures out.
I have a few like that buried away somewhere too. I've seen them where I literally count 12, 13, 14 different planes. And here's, well after spraying's been going on or seeding's been going on.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to take a close-up like this?
No. I gotta get like a P900. That's what I really want. I've been looking for one for a while, but I don't know. I'm thinking like, here's my thoughts. I'm like, I really want this thing, but in my head, I always go, well, coming up on the end of the world, man, spending like $600 on a camera is probably not the smartest thing to do, Like, that's where my head always goes. I'll like look it up. I'll be like, oh, I should put a bid on. Oh, no, I shouldn't do that. So.
Yeah, I the same here. My dream camera was a little more than that, but I was in the 35 millimeter quite a bit, and I struggled to keep it alive. I tried so hard. Long after 35 millimeter wasn't, all the digitals came out. I was ordering film and then sending it away for a month to be developed, and it just got so super expensive.
Kids be like, what's film?
35 millimeter.
What's a rotary dial? What's touch tone?
Oh man, you said that. We were at this antique shop. My daughter had a 5K run, and we went to this antique store, and my daughter found a rotary phone, an old one, and she's like, Dad. I'm like, what? She goes, can you please show me how this works?
That's awesome.
So I'm like,
You don't want to screw up on the last number. I'm telling you what. Right?
Like I'm insane.
Like,
I'm
darn
like,
it,
aren't you glad you don't have,
man. Gotta start over.
you only have
Oh,
10-digit
man.
numbers? Oh, the look on her face, you know. You know, of course, when you'll say, you know, hang up your cell phone or hang up the phone, she'll be like, you know, we'll be like,
Yeah. Oh, man.
anyways, yeah. So the whole point of that question that just led into all that was, I've tried to get this close and clear up a shot with what I have for camera equipment on the phone or what I have, and every time I zoom in to get this close, the plane is very pixelated and unplane like, or completely disappears. Like just the plane part is fake. Something else is doing the trails, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is a very good image. I've never been able to get something this close.
No, that's why I want to get like a P900 so I can, because I want to zoom in on these things.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
And I probably will buy one if I can find one cheap enough. Oh, look at that, man. That's a good one.
Yes, so there you go. So if you can see it and you can see it live if you get in the sun just right, there's your aluminum and barium.
Yeah, you could totally see it reflecting all the light. You know,
No.
oh, what is that stuff called? You know, the slag, it's called bismuth. Do you know
Okay.
what that is?
No.
It's like this, you know what slag is, right? It's like the it's like the excess. It's
The
left
leftover material, right? Yep.
right when you're making something else. It's like this
Yeah, like
leftover
on a welder,
mishmash.
you have that leftover. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what they're making, but bismuth is like the most awesome looking slag you've ever seen. It comes out in like triangles and like layered. It looks like little step pyramids almost, and it's rainbow color, just like that. It's the coolest looking
Really.
stuff. Um, but yeah, it looks just like that.
What's it called again?
Bismuth. So
Oh,
it's really awesome. I got a whole bunch of it. It's
I think
expensive.
I'll have to look into it.
51 is the new 30. Sure is, man. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Silent Siren was just saying when she was younger, she used to see clouds like that.
Yeah, I was explaining to my son that when I was a kid, I remember visiting my biological father. He would mail airplane tickets, and then she would drop me off. But I remember it's probably like 7 or 8, and I remember being in the back of the car and asking her, looking up, like, "Hey, what is that?" She was like, "Well, that's condensation, you know." And I remember asking her, the neighbor runs every morning, and I see him do it in the wintertime and when there's 2 feet of snow, and I see his breath, but I don't see a long, trail of it from his house. And I remember my mom being like, like, and that was 30 years ago. So they've been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah, like for someone to look at that picture and be like, that's normal.
Yeah.
They're like snoozing, bro. Snoozing. Like, how's that normal? Like, if there was X's and O's in there, would that be normal too? Like, where's the line here?
Yep. Yeah. So, in my adventures on this mission, I found internal pictures of these airplanes and other like airplanes. And you can tell this is all staged, and they're going to just give you, because if you look at the other images of the planes doing it in flight, there is no window, right? And up here, you can argue that fact, how they plugged them up, but there is none. But this is, I would call a mock of what they really have inside of that. So this explanation is an Airbus A380. Water-filled tanks simulate passenger weight for different takeoff and landing displacement weights. Similar photographs are sometimes said to show chemtrail planes in action. Ballast barrels with water in a prototype Boeing 747 flight test plane. So why? Boeing 747s have been around as long as passenger planes have been, right?
They, yeah, so they're just trying to be like, yeah, see, there's no chemtrails. It's water. Look.
Right. So there was, I'm assuming that this is cleanup, I guess, because I'm sure there was some release of actual tanks in the plane, and this is what they came up with. So they're ballast barrels that they can fluctuate weight with water to simulate passengers.
Yeah,
because they still haven't quite figured out the takeoff and landing with people on planes yet.
Yeah. Boy, yeah. That's why I don't fly, because they just haven't got it down yet. Keep practicing with the water. Keep practicing. You guys are doing good. Yeah.
So cloud seeding is probably the first and longest running commercial narrative. And this would come in second. It's called stratospheric aerosol injection. Stratospheric aerosol injection is a proposed method. It's proposed. We don't do it. We're proposing that we could. It's a method of solar geoengineering or solar radiation modification to reduce global warming. This would introduce aerosols into the stratosphere to create a cooling effect via global dimming and increased albedo, which occurs naturally from volcanic winter.
Huh. So, yeah, we should just ignite volcanic winter.
Pretty much. You remember when we were kids, they said that the ozone layer's got a hole the size of Alaska, and we got to get rid of all these hairspray cans. Like
yeah. It's got CFCs, man.
Now they're introducing aerosols into the stratosphere.
Right.
Right into that.
Because the ozone, man. Yeah.
The ozone layer's got a hole in it.
Like, yeah. Dude, if there was a hole in the ozone, which doesn't even exist, they would be excited because they've been trying to break open the firmament forever, man. They'd be like, right. Yes!
Absolutely. We finally did it.
We put a hole in it!
Glass ceiling.
Finally! Hillary Clinton's been complaining about this for 20 years. Now she'll be quiet.
We can really go to the moon now.
Yeah, right. Woohoo!
Excuse me. So then I found this very fun. What companies are doing stratospheric aerosol injections? As of now, Make Sunsets is the only company actively deploying stratospheric aerosol injection technology, SAI. The company uses high altitude balloons to release aerosols 20 kilometers and above, helping to offset the warming effect of greenhouse gases and mitigate the impacts of climate change.
Dude, all they're doing is making it hotter.
I know when they try to convince you that.
Right, it's
But-
like they're what they're doing, and this is what I think, dude. They're doing all these things. They're making this haze, which makes the sun hotter. See, God created us, and He created the earth, and so we were made to be able to inhabit the earth,
Inhabit and interact.
right, and
naturally.
be able to stand in the sun.
Absolutely.
So these atmospheric changes are making it so we get burned. So that we put on this suntan lotion so we can get skin cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Like suntan lotion, that's how you get skin cancer. I'm convinced.
Yep. Well, now it's like the magnifying glass, and the little kid with the magnifying glass and the ants. You know,
Yeah.
They're basically creating another layer of magnifying glass. It's not mitigating or dispersing. It's making it worse.
Right. It's getting hot.
So I looked into mixed sunsets, and it's comical because here they're saying it's stratospheric atmosphere. You know, that's way up there. And these guys, this little company is a bunch of knuckleheads in California throwing balloons up in the air. You know.
Yeah.
So what would happen to these balloons? How big are these balloons? Because that's a lot of stuff. That's way up there for the balloons to get. What, do they just pop and then there it is? That's as silly as in 1946 that scientist throwing handfuls of crushed dry ice out there.
Yeah.
That's them saying, we don't fly planes and do that. It was these guys with their balloons.
Yeah, these guys, man. They just sit over there all day. They got a whole team of people like like, dang, how many guys you got blowing these things up, dude? Oh, man.
You know? Oh, man. And it's that comical. Because you'll be reading it like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. No.
Makes
There's
sense.
their little diagram right here. They're in the city park. They're releasing the big balloon. It pops. And then, you know, it goes everywhere. And it makes it rain and it deflects all that heat. They're making actual sunsets. This is what they're claiming they're doing with balloons.
Looks like cotton candy.
Not one of those. Not any of that is a natural cloud.
No. What is what is that movie in Mask? He's like, they're up there and he goes, oh, the toxic emissions look so lovely this time of night or whatever. Remember that? And they're like in the park.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot all about that. That's exactly what it is. You know. So who funds makes sunsets? They have the privilege to build a company that will help future generations combat the worst effects of climate change. Make Sunsets is backed by Boots VC, Draper Associate, Pioneer Fund, and angel investors.
Angel investors.
Hmm.
Fallen angel investors. Look at the first one, dude. Boost VC? Like booster?
Mm-hmm.
Vodka? Dude, come
Mhm.
on, man. You can't even make this stuff up, bro. That's crazy.
You can't. Absolutely.
We're gonna give you your booster. We're gonna float it into the sky, and everybody will have it. It's good. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's crazy, bro.
So I didn't go too deep into these companies, just a little bit to give you a basic idea. I do, if you want more, I encourage you. Go ahead, bring back good questions. It'll encourage me to go back into it deeper. But I got the basics of what these, like Draper Associates, they were founded in 1985. Draper is actually the last name of the individual who started this, and they call it a seed stage venture capital. That is what the VC stands for, is venture capitalist firm that helps entrepreneurs to drive their businesses to greatness. So they don't really create businesses or ideas. They help companies, and they have their hands and their wealth in cryptocurrency. More technological, financial startups than actual balloon companies. So Boost VC, they call themselves a seed fund. They make sci-fi a reality by investing in crypto, virtual reality, augmented reality, AI, ocean tech, space tech, and human augmentation.
Oh my word, dude. That's their logo?
Mm-hmm.
If you take that power,
absolutely.
you've seen my Q video, right? Q has a name where I take this power symbol and turn it down.
Yep.
To like where that line is at like 5 o'clock. It's Q.
Yep. And it's a Q.
And it's V. Oh my goodness, bro. That's like the most crazy thing.
And it makes you think, if you turn that power button to a Q and just look at the orange letters, QVC, the channel.
Oh, yeah. Dang, dude. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And VC, bro, is 25. That's 55.
Yep.
Just throwing that out there.
Yep. So there you got all their money, all their hands in virtual reality, crypto.
So they could have just said, who funds all this stuff? And they could have just said Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Sum it up in one word, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But let me tell you about the people who are actually, running the airplanes that are pointing at the balloons. The Stratospheric Aerosol and Gas Experiment, SAGE, is part of NASA's mission to provide long-term measurements that help humans better understand and protect Earth's atmosphere. SAGE measures the Earth's sunscreen, or ozone, along with other gases and aerosols or tiny particles in the atmosphere.
SAGE. Dude, they're always coming up with this stuff, man. Like, that's what they tell you. Oh, just use this smudge stick and get evil spirits away. Like,
evil spirits out of here. Burn your sage and cleanse your house.
Yeah, we're going to do a cleansing. I'm going to walk through and make your house reek of this crap.
The National Aeronautics and Space Administration is going to teach you about SAGE.
Bro, when I was on Dead Tour, oh my goodness, those hippies would walk around with those things burning all day. The whole parking lot, dude, miles long, just stinks of this stuff, like nonstop. It's gross. Like, you don't like sage? like I had some kind of virus. Like, no, reeks. Stupid. Put that thing out.
Make love, not war.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right. For stratospheric aerosol injection, all strategies are not created equal. A new study finds that injecting SO2 at higher latitudes rather than in the tropics could mitigate some undesirable side effects of SAI. That is directly from the NOAA.
Got a little war going on there.
I hear that. I'm sorry. I paused for a minute to listen to see who's going to go. Oh, they're knuckleheads. Buy dogs, they said.
Buy dogs. Keeps your house safe.
All right. So the chemical they're talking about is sulfur dioxide chemical compound, and here's the degrees. It's 119 degrees in the sulfuric dioxide. I don't know all the technological, but the numbers stuck out to me. And
Yeah, 9/11. Just a little.
yep. So we have the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC.
That's pretty fancy.
Yep, they're the ones that talk about. They're into the experiments, all the scientific research, and this is the other World Meteorological Organization, WMO.
I love how they all have flat Earths without Antarctica.
Isn't that cool?
So awesome. Oh man.
And the star.
Yeah, you gotta have the star, bro.
You got to put that on there because we don't do any of this. These are just crazy organizations that may, we propose these things. United Nations Environment Program. These three organizations are intergovernmental organizations between the United Nations, United States, France, and they're located in one's Geneva. It was the IPCC. They're in Geneva. So yeah, like CERN, there's multiple countries and governments.
Penuel is the fallen angel that taught us to write.
Oh, that's right. So here's an article from BBC News on April 2nd, 2024. Talks about Tennessee passing a chemtrail bill banning airborne chemicals. So everything I point out to you was all proposed or hearsay or things that they could do.
Yeah.
And it's just conspiracy theories, but yet we have states that are actually passing bills banning airborne chemicals.
How interesting. You notice, go back 1 second.
Yep.
I just figured this out the other, I don't know, probably like a month ago. The BBC, man, that's 322 backwards. Yeah.
Of course it is.
Right? I was like, "Oh, it makes so much sense." I can't believe I didn't
sense.
notice that before. That's all I wanted to share.
Thank you. I actually really enjoy it when you throw those in there because it's stuff I didn't see or I'm too busy trying to, So we got chemtrail bill set for House circuit described as nonsense. House sponsor says it relates only to geoengineering, while Senator raises specter of conspiracy theory. So it's, in legislation. Beans and Toast said BBC is British Boys Club.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure is, man.
You're not in me club. You can't come in. It's not for you.
Yeah. What is the He-Man Woman Haters Club? Right? Was that the Little Rascals? So stupid.
So New Hampshire also has a bill, House Bill 1700 in 2024. Right? The bill prohibiting the international release of polluting emissions, including cloud seeding, weather modification, excessive electromagnetic radio frequency, and microwave radiation, making penalties for violations such as prohibition. This was in Legiscan. You can log on any state, figure out where it is, what's going on. So that's 2 states this year alone that have initiated legislation or introduced it, banning what we are talking about.
So I find it pretty interesting that it's House Bill 17Q, and they're trying to ban you from spraying bail.
Right.
You can't make stuff up, man. They should just have a TV show of this stuff because it's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. All right. And this is an application. I have some application data for a atmospheric injection patent. Reflective aerosol for mitigating global warming. This was 9/30 in 2009. So this application was abandoned, failure to respond. But it's proof that you wouldn't just a hearsay proposed method of doing something. You can't apply for a patent without having, I'm going to invent this. This is my idea, and I want to patent the invention. I haven't got it right yet, but I'm going to. I want the patent for when I do get it right.
Yeah.
So that was where I rounded it down. So I hope I gave you enough tools or ammo for you to, create your own argument or proof. All right. So I said I was going to look up the AGI, but now I'm going to have to relate it to geoengineering. Right.
Yeah. Hebrews and Shapers. What's up, Joe? That's pretty funny.
AGI. Geotechnical, AGI USA, AGI Electrical, Resistive Imaging, ERI. There we go. American Geosciences Institute.
That's what it stands for?
That is what it is. Yeah, and that's where I got that article.
Okay.
So you can actually go to Geoscience. AGI is a school about AGI, board of directors, connections, newsletters, awards, nominations, news, and announcements.
Yeah, I just found it very interesting that they had something to do with the spraying, and now, you know what I mean? All this stuff just makes so much sense, these little nuances, because, when you start to think of mixing iron with clay, you start to just get all these, there's just all these little ways, like some people are putting it in their bodies on purpose. Some people are getting it in there on accident. It's just like, but yeah, they've been doing this stuff forever, like smart dust.
You're right. Smart dust, you're putting diamond dust.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. When you were talking about that stuff, all I could think of is, so they get these little diamond particles to cut your lungs, so that when you breathe in, all this stuff can be absorbed into your lungs better.
Right, and it's nanotechnology.
Yeah,
they're putting diamond dust in there. then it's nanotechnology. It's nanoparticles. And the nanotechnology, believe it or not, isn't just like a super sophisticated machine making microscopic technological engines. They're biological nanotechnologies. So the promotion of nanotechnology is from algae. So you can grow or airborne algae, and the algae, just type in algae nanotechnology or nanoparticles, and you're going to go into a whole new world of aerosol injection. But that was my presentation for now. So I hope good, you found something.
Yeah, I know people are, people need this information because a lot of people, like us, try to share this stuff with other people. And it's good that you did this because now there's a resource on this channel where people can share, and then the people they share can dive into the stuff, look up what we're talking about, look deeper into it. Because a lot of people try to wake people up to this stuff, and they're so brainwashed with the narrative that they can't even hear what you're saying. They're like, oh yeah, you're one of those, yeah, flat Earth, yeah, cloud, yeah, geoengineering. They're like, everything's a conspiracy theory.
That's exactly, and for as far as we have come over the years, it's hard for us to remember being there. Yeah. So it can be frustrating in our flesh when we try to talk about these truths and somebody be like, oh, it's just, weather modification, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's, yeah. It seems like an argument, and it seems hard to comprehend how you can still believe. But, everybody takes their own path. And wakes up at their own pace or believes things at their time, at their pace. And you can't get frustrated with them. You can just speak about these things, just like I did just now. Instead of being frustrated, believe what I say. I know it's true. I can't fly up there and lick the cloud and be like, yep, aluminum.
And salt. No, salty too. This is that dry rain. What are you going to tell me next? I can't trust the government? Jeez. What do you mean my vote doesn't count? You're an idiot. It's like, all right, dude, I get that all the time. You don't vote. I'm like, no. I was like, I don't take part in this game. What do you mean? You gotta vote, man. If you don't vote, man, then you're to blame. It's like, wow, bro.
That is your one sole illusion in freedom, right there.
Yeah.
I have a say. I can vote.
Yeah. I'm like, no, that's what makes you think that you're free. That's right. Part of the mind trap that you're locked into.
And it's hard. It really is, because
I make a difference.
Truth hurts. Yeah. And it's easy to reject what hurts. I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I can't wait for a long day of pain.
You don't?
Even though that's the truth. Yeah. Even though that's the truth, I don't, it's easy for somebody to not want to look at anything outside of the box or in a different way. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, and it's painful. That's right, Beans and Toast. It's the Matrix.
Yeah.
Trying to think outside of it, look outside of it. But okay. Well, I appreciate everybody showing up today. I'm gonna say goodbye and let Jay do a sign off. everybody showed up who's going to watch. Thank you. You know, hit like, subscribe, support the channel, and thank you. Stay vigilant. God bless.
God bless you, brother. Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. All right, you guys. Well, that's the presentation. Appreciate you guys coming on, showing Franz some love. It's nice to have him on here every Wednesday. Just want to apologize for the confusion. I did have both of Wednesday's shows posted for tonight, so I'm sorry for that confusion. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate you guys coming here. I'm glad we can bring forth messages and bring forth the truth to some people who appreciate and love it. So this has been a true blessing, and I'm always looking for the truth. Yeah, that's good. Keep doing it, because we'll get there. Jesus said, "Seek and ye shall find." You know, so that's what we do here. We just always looking for the truth, never thinking we know the truth, so that when the truth comes, we can accept it. Yo, Jay, you tatted up like me, blasted. Yeah, I get funny looks because my whole back window is like this giant 4-foot wide repent, and it's you know, and then I get out of the car, and you know, definitely people don't know what to make of me, I can tell you that much. You know, I'm not your stereotypical what you would consider a Christian, you know. What does the tattoo say on your neck? It says Cassidy. That's my oldest daughter. And then I got Kayla's underneath. Those are my two girls. Yeah, one thing I would never do, though, is get another tattoo. I see a lot of people, and, you know, they have like Psalm 91 or something tattooed on them, or different scriptures tattooed, and it's like, when you become a Christian, you know, that you're supposed to kind of leave that stuff behind. Like, I get it, like, if you're in the lukewarm church and whatever, the teaching and the knowledge and the wisdom isn't in those places, so, but when you come to the truth, you know, then you're like, oh, this is the temple. Like, I can't defile the temple, you know. My temple was defiled before I became a Christian. And now I'm trying to purify it, which the good Lord's helping me do. Like, I don't drink anymore, don't smoke pot anymore, don't smoke cigarettes anymore. All that's, I mean, I never really drank, but all that stuff I quit when I became a Christian. But not on my own. That was all God. Like, I tried to quit those things, but couldn't do it. But with God, anything's impossible, right? That's what the Bible says. With man, this is impossible. But with God, anything is possible. So, bro, I'm blasted. I done it when I was younger. It's all good versus evil, but I realized there is no good or bad. You need to walk that thin line. Yeah, there is none good, right? We need to, only being in Christ makes us righteous. And it's just our faith in the works we do for the love for Him. That's all we can do. Yeah. I would get a burger. Yeah, I haven't ate a burger in so long. I actually, my Cassidy's mom, she was like a vegetarian when I met her. Man, that was so long ago. Oh my word, we're talking like 30 years ago. And every time I would eat like a burger or something, she would be like, ew, ew. And so, in order to make the relationship work, I had to come up with some sort of compromise, some kind of situation, because that I wasn't going to deal with that. So I told her, I said, look, if you start eating chicken, turkey, and fish, then I'll stop eating pork and beef. And she was like, okay. And so then we ate the same things. And now that's been my diet for like 30 years. I haven't had a hamburger in 30 years. Or pork. I don't even remember what it tastes like. Turkey burger. Had a turkey burger. Yeah, I've totally changed my diet in 6 months. I drink water, eat fish, chicken, pasta, rice, etc. Yeah, fish and fowl, that's my diet. That's like the best diet. Very lean meats, white meats, very easy to digest, very good for you. I don't trust fish. But you eat bacon? Yeah. I mean, the stuff is falling on everything. So if it's falling in the water, it's falling in the pig trough, it's falling in the cow field, it's growing in the grass that the cows eat. It's everywhere. That's why we need Jesus, right? No weapon formed against us will harm us. So pray over your food. That's all we can do. No, that's a throw at the sand people. Yeah. Yeah, I used to drink a lot of iced tea, but man, it's horrible for you. The sugar they put in. Cause I used to like what did I drink? It was like Arizona sweet tea. I like that, and I like the ginseng tea. But I just be drinking water now. I keep a jug of fresh water in my fridge all the time and just drink that. Especially now it's hot. Sometimes I'll drink a gallon of water a day when I'm working outside. It gets pretty hot out there. I got a reverse osmosis system. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you can make some clean water. If you want to, zero water makes the best purifier. If you're using like a water purifier, zero water is the best one. Better than Brita, Pure, any of the other ones. Like there's literally 0 nanoparticles per milliliter in zero water. 30,000 liters a day. That's a lot of water. Oh yeah, the plants, yeah. If you can water your plants with fresh water that you're like cleansing, that's the best way to do it. 'Cause the rain ain't helping. I mean, the rain will help them grow, but the chemicals they put in, you never know. But once again, God can bless your garden. That's the thing. God can do anything. So if you're praying over your garden or praying over your plants and praying over the water that you're putting on them, praying over the garden for when it rains, like, God can do anything. Just keep that in mind, everybody. Don't be afraid to pray for anything. You should get in the habit of praying for everything. Because you know, that's our weapon. That's our freedom in this world. That's where we can find comfort and take comfort in the security that the Lord offers us. So, yeah, if you don't, you know, if you have things like that, it could be anything. I don't know. I'm just throwing garden out there because we're talking about it and the rain is bad. Oh, it's talking to me. Stay in the call. Yeah. But yeah, just pray. Pray for everything. I've been praying for health and wealth for everyone. Yeah. 5-stage osmosis is $100. That's not bad. Yeah, health is the most important thing. Health and your relationship with Jesus. Wealth for me is wisdom. That's what wealth for me is. Wisdom and understanding this where we live and the weapons of warfare. You know, that's, if I could get paid in wisdom, I would get paid in wisdom. I mean, we're not going to have a use for money pretty soon. It's going to be useless. In order to use any kind of currency, you're going to have to be part of the beast system, and we ain't having that. So there's really no point. When they say, oh, you can't buy or sell without this doohickey, that's it for me. I guess I'm not buying or selling. I'll just barter with all the other people that are running for their lives, that are bartering as well, like me. I've been praying. When I go outside, I'm overwhelmed by the nutters stuck in the matrix. I do what I've done. I grew for 22 years. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great. I don't grow. My mom has a garden. She's getting better at growing food. There was just we have woodchucks here. That's why I like to call them lawn beavers. And I went and oh man, maybe I could send this picture to my email and show you guys. 2 days ago, I had come home and this one of her squash plants was eaten. Like all the leaves were chewed off. And I was like, what the heck? What happened there? You know, I didn't understand what would have done it, because I was like, it's not a squirrel, it's not a bird, it's not a, you know, what would it, I keep doing the same thing. I'm like, what would have done that? And then I started thinking, well, maybe a deer came in the yard at night or something and chowed down on it, because they're in a tall bucket, so you got to be able to get up to the leaf. And let me just open this up. Oh, good, it's over here. I love it when that happens. Get mail. There we go. Save. Sure, why not? Alright, so I'm going to show you guys this picture here. So I looked out the window yesterday from the kitchen. I was making dinner, and I saw this Little woodchuck. He was just mowing the leaves down. Look at him hanging on. He's just chilling, sitting in the bucket. I was like, oh my goodness, this little fat thing. So, yeah. Got him out of there. And he hasn't been back since, but... Plasma, alien plasma. I swear I can see them in the air now. Yeah, you'll be seeing them. You'll be seeing them. You know, they're demons. But you will be seeing them in the air. Like last week I was covering... Was it last week? Oh yeah, I think at the end of last Wednesday's show, I was showing people the cloud that I saw. Oh, as a matter of fact, it was in that same folder. Because, yeah, like this was like a ship. I'll just show you guys again real quick. So right here, you can see if I zoom in, this part of the cloud looks like it's a discs, right? Like moon pies or whatever. So this part of the cloud keeps going and moves away, but this part of the cloud stays. It doesn't go anywhere. And I'm driving, so as I said last time, don't drive and take pictures. But you can see the other clouds moving and this cloud's staying. And it's totally, see, now the other cloud's completely gone. And this cloud's still in that same spot, shaped like these discs. Hasn't moved at all. Right? This is cloaking technology. So you'll be seeing them in the sky, for sure. That's for sure. Gets dark here for 3 hours max. I can literally see the sun doing 1 rotation a day. Oh, that's cool. Clean your mirrors. What, in my car? What, is it dirty? They like mirrors. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Yeah, there are some places, yeah, if you look at the 360 cameras in like way up north and stuff, you can see the sun just goes like this. Oh, let me lower my hand. It goes like this. Like around, but it always sees the sun. It never goes away. And you know, in the Bible, it says that the sun stood still, right? He prayed and the sun stood still until the battle was over. So, yeah. There's that, right? And it says that the earth moves not. It's stable. Yeah, guys. But it is getting warm in here. I gotta fire up the AC, which means you won't be able to hear a word I'm saying. So I will be back on Saturday night to continue in the book of Revelation. And then next week is the news show with Franz. This just in. Where we will be covering current events, stuff that's going on. So, you know, if you guys notice anything, you can always email me or leave in my comment section, because I always see the comments and I always reply. Man, my nose tickles today. yeah, if you guys think of any topics. And of course, you can always bring them to the show. Flat picture, oh yeah, I just like YouTube. Yeah. It's nice when you have a couple good channels you can watch. It's better than TV, you know. At least on YouTube, you can like pick some good channels and learn some things, and you know you're not really gonna learn anything on TV. And the stuff you do learn is all a lie, anyways. It's all the mainstream narrative. This is the construct they want you to believe. They teach you about the Matrix. And for those of us outside the Matrix, the knowledge of the Matrix is useless. I hate TV. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Take care. Jay, Andreas says hi. Andrew says hi. And we'll catch you on Saturday, 00 GMT5 East Coast. Yeah, well, thank you. Take care, you guys. Glad you guys showed up. Love you guys. Appreciate your support. Thank you all for tuning in. Always a pleasure. Always love fellowshipping with you guys. Love seeing the comment section going crazy and blowing up. Jay, have you heard about this guy, Dr. Among Hillman? No, but I will type that into my notepad. I got another thing I gotta look up that Lopez shared. So I will look that up. Dr. Among Hillman. Alright. So I put it on my notepad. I will look into it and see what's going on there. But yeah, thank you all. Appreciate you guys. Drink water, Melinda. Drink water. Yeah. I hope to see you all Saturday. Awesome revelations, no pun intended, coming through studying Revelation. So, yeah, and I have some really interesting stuff for next Wednesday's, show. What kind of water? If you're gonna drink it, spring or distilled. I mean, I drink spring water. You know, it's coming out of the ground naturally. That's God's water tap for us. So definitely what I trust. All right, you guys, that's it for me. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you guys across the earth. Appreciate you. Yeah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And I will see you guys this Saturday and then next Wednesday. Yeah, that's what I was saying about the filter. If you're going to get a filter, get 0 water. That's what I have on my faucet. I mean, I have a well water too, but I filter it anyways. So it's like extra clean. It tastes great. It's awesome. I'll have to rewatch. I just got here. So tired from work. 24-hour shift. Wow, that's a long shift. Love you, Jay. Love all you smart subscribers. Yeah, we have such a great fellowship and such a great subscriber group. You guys are all wise and getting wiser. So appreciate all the fellowship. Get some rest, Robin. The video will be here tomorrow. Yeah, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. So until then, stay prayed up. Take care. Keep an eye on each other. And stay vigilant. Love you guys. Later.